Welcome, everybody. We are going to talk with my client and friend, Lori, who's looking into her Forever account. She's had it for a few years, and I'm so excited that we have this time, especially at the beginning of 2022, to think about helping her get on track with saving her family photos. Fortunately, Lori has a lot in her Forever account already. You can see here that she has almost 34,000 files, and a lot of these pictures are scanned from her family's growing up years, and she's also got a lot of videos. And right now we've got a few questions that I know Lori's got. And so, Lori, do you want to just say hello and introduce yourself and say a little bit about how you're feeling about your account overall?
Sure. Well, Molly, thank you so much for helping me through this. We met a few years ago, and since then I have given Molly a lot of my VHS tapes and my 8mm videos from my kids all growing up. And I was overwhelmed with how to get this digitized so I can actually show it to my friends and family. It's a tad overwhelming. When I go to the library page, it's 33,000 pictures. I need to get a plan because I have not done it for the last 2 years. I have not uploaded my actual digital photos. So they're all sitting out in my Google Cloud for the last 7 or 8 years. And that is overwhelming to me. So that's one thing I really want to get organized and get out and into my Forever account. But I also want to be able to go through these files easily and see all pictures of a certain child. I have 3 kids and now 4 grandkids, and I want to tag these, and that's a bit overwhelming. So hopefully, Molly, you can help me with that too.
I think we can help you come up with a plan. And Lori, you should know you are not alone. Often we meet people who let 3 or 4 years go by, and that's just life. It flies by. And, I know you've had 4 grandchildren come into this world since we first met. So the point is that today is a great day to start. It always is. And you've got a great foundation here. So I think what I'm going to do just to start with is I'm actually going to request control of your screen, if that would be okay.
Sure.
And then we'll go right to your library view and take a peek. So you did upload a new picture on November 25th. The beautiful family. So good. All right. So first of all, this library view is similar to other programs. When you have a view that shows you 33,000 pictures, that's impossible to start looking through. And what you have in here are all those photos and videos that we digitized a few years ago. We've also added to your account the CDs of pictures and camera cards. I believe you had quite a digital collection as well. So,
yes.
In the library view, a few things. You can order by date taken. Often I like to just have the newest be up there first, so that's great. And then filtering by year and month can really help you narrow down what you're looking at. So like we were talking before, you want to see Christmas pictures from 2012. You could click on 2012 and right away, oh, you guys got a puppy.
Yes, we did.
I didn't plan that.
She's 9 years old now.
Oh, that's awesome. So right now we can see that you have these photos from 2012 they're showing. And right now, Forever doesn't tell you like how many are in this view of the 2012 pictures. And I'm hoping they'll add that. But you can further click the month and be taken to a certain month of the year. And when you are working with digital pictures, this works really well. So you have this filter. Then you can always search by tags, file name, or description. I don't know exactly what's all in here, but if we just type in Scott, I know a whole bunch of things are going to come up. There they are. And I'm thinking it's just the pictures from 2012. Oh, no, 2005.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
There's quite a few.
An age span.
Yep. So when you type in the search bar, That can help if the name is in the name of the photo that was scanned or in the description or tags, you'll see that. The all files, when you click this drop down, you can select show only. And I know you were looking only at your videos, which was helpful, but showing the pictures that are not in an album can be really helpful. And Lori, all your pictures are in an album.
That doesn't make sense. I'm
Well,
not that good.
So I'm going to go back to showing all files, and I'm going to take the filter off. So now we can see there are some here. There's not a ton, but when we click in to, and I'm sure there's a story with this.
Hammerschlagen. This is our church themed banquet.
Oh, awesome.
Up North banquet.
Oh, fun. So I can see a little bit of information. I'm going to just go to the back button. Knowing what's not in an album can help. The goal is to have everything in an album. So this picture from 2021, there's a couple ways to add pictures to albums. You can click the green button there. Actually, you're clicking the circle and it changes to a green circle with the white check mark, and you can add to an album. You can add tags, share, you can edit the info. There's a bulk organizer. Right now, we just want to add it to an album. And you would see here that we can add a new album. And I'm just going to type in 2021 photos. And we usually select the friends and family so that if you had other family members who are connected to your account, they would be able to see that album. So now it disappeared from this view. And then there's more in here. When people automatically upload their pictures from their phone, this would be one way to kind of edit, what's been uploaded. But we're going to talk about like the system for getting your pictures from your phone to forever, because there's always several ways to do the same thing. Those are just a few things about the library view, and we might come back to these pictures, but next I'm going to go to the albums. Do you have any questions about the library view, Lori?
I was curious about when you were adding it, when you clicked on the check mark, and you had those options, what is the bulk organizer?
You can do this in any screen where you have a group of pictures or videos or whatever, okay? When you select a few of them, you get these options. So adding tags is simple. Editing the info is changing the name, which I don't spend time on that. We have too much to do in life to be worrying about the names of the photos. Sometimes I will add a description to a group of pictures, and then you can edit the date taken. So if these were like scanned, so you can do that all at once. I'm going to cancel that. When you go to the bulk organizer, it gives you even more information that you can edit. You can add to albums, add tags, the name, and the description. So the bulk organizer kind of has everything in there all at once.
Great, thanks.
Oh, no problem. Incidentally, the slideshow is a nice feature too. Forever recently upgraded this, and it will play a slideshow for you. And you can change the style and how fast it plays, which is kind of fun. All right, so I'm going to just close having those be selected. In the albums view, you're going to see what we do here standard at Pixologie, because we set up these albums for you. We organize our albums by year. We put the year in first so that they organize chronologically and alphabetically automatically. So we can see your childhood photos here. And then we have the 90s pictures and the 2000s and family photo, it just goes on. So there's a lot to scroll through here. sometimes I mean, if we had an album for every year from 1990 to 2020, that would be 30 albums. And I always like for, there to be kind of a structure so that it's not so overwhelming and you're not scrolling through things forever. So one thing I wanted to just kind of go back to here is, right, I saw it in the 2004 photos. There are icons on each of these albums. The first one tells you how many photos are in there. So there's 229 photos, and then there are 8 nested albums. When we go into 2004, you'll see these nested albums are just specific things that happened in that year. And, if we had all of these loose in the 2004 photos, there would be a lot to scroll through. And I mentioned this to Lori before we started today. You don't want to be scrolling forever through pictures. You want to be able to get to where something might be. So if you wanted pictures from 2004, there you have Jag Lake. And I know you have other pictures from events and travel that you've done. These are great to make a nested album for. Does that make sense so far?
Yes, it does. But how many nested albums? Because would I do it for each of my children, say Scott's soccer, Melanie's volleyball? How detailed do you get?
Mm-hmm. So with regards to each of the children, and I remember this, you actually had a physical photo album made for each child, and that was a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
In trying to simplify things for people, with the albums, I keep the albums chronological, and then the people we do more tagging of, okay? And I see we have the 2004 Scott Soccer there. You can do anything with the nested structure. It's just what's the best use of your time, and how important is it that each kid has a folder or an album from each year? That means they'd have to, it just means, are they ever going to go through and look for, I want my pictures from 2004 soccer? Do I want my pictures from 2005 soccer? They're probably going to want to find, the best pictures that kind of tell the story through the years. Mm-hmm. So we have Scott Soccer 41 pictures here, and you're gonna scroll through here and you're gonna see, all right, does he really want to have all of these pictures? It's nice that they're saved, but eventually you could go through and probably delete some. So you're gonna find the pictures that are like really meaningful. And if we went into the pictures here and found the best one, you could do that. But I'm just going to select that one, and then we could add the tag, Scott Soccer, and be done with. Okay. So I'll just do that. You might have no, you don't, a soccer tag, and then in order to get that tag to stick, I hit return and I add the tag. So it's kind of like this would be a labor of love. To go back and actually mark which pictures are the best through the years for the kids. Okay, so to answer your question, I just leave the albums as chronological, and then things that I want them to be able to see in a group together, I tag people, events, sports. Pets are a good example of that, and holidays sometimes. But with Forever, especially with the digital pictures, you can just click the year and the month and see the pictures right off the bat. So does that help?
It does, yes, because I didn't want to necessarily delete all of them, but I don't need, what are there, 10 pictures of the same lineup on the soccer field? I don't need all of those. So that would really help it if I wanted to look at Scott Soccer pictures. But then if I were to, if I do that throughout the years, then when I pull up, how do I pull that up? to just look at Scott Soccer, and will it show what year it is?
Mhm.
Is it
Yep.
order them by year?
We'll take a look at that next. I just wanted to show you one more thing about the albums view. And this is something that helps you kind of consolidate your groupings of pictures, is to take your 90s albums and put them in a 1990 main album. So like how 1970s is, I'm going to just click new album and do 1990s. Remember, we talked about not wanting to scroll through 30 years of albums. So I'm gonna just go to 1994. In this main view of your albums, you can move your albums by clicking the blue arrow down. So I'm just taking that 1994 and I'm gonna click on 1990s. And I'm gonna repeat that. Tell me if that makes sense before I finish it.
I'm still watching you.
Okay. So I'm moving these top level ones into the 1990s, just so that you don't have to scroll through, 10 of the 1990s. You can see them all in one grouping.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. I have done this with my family's heritage pictures. I actually have 1900 to 1940s. And that shows up first because, it's alphabetically and chronologically first. And I think it really kind of shows you your family history really nicely when you can go back to those older pictures. So
right.
now we're in the 1990s, and you know that there's some years that maybe there's some work that we need to find the other 1990 pictures. So now
I wonder where 91 to 93 went.
The 1990s, we don't want that blue cover. So we want to just go find a photo that would make sense. So I'm just clicking on one. We'll find, it's like, is this all three of you or all?
Yes.
So this is a really cool picture, and we could click that heart button. And it looks to me like you were tagging already in here, which is great. So I'm going to click add to album, and we want this to be in the 1990s album that we just made, and this album, because this was the year. And now when we go back to that 1990s album, there's your photo. And you can change the album cover. The picture just has to be in this album, not in one of the albums. All right. So going back, so now here you have this, and I get kind of, picky about what the name of my albums are. So I'm going to say family photos so it matches. You can have the album date optional. I never really bother with that too much because it's in the name of the album. Now you've got the 70s and the 90s. So cool. And you can repeat that if you want for the 2000s and the 2010s. And that just makes, now you're looking at like little glimpses through the years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's albums and nested albums. And then you could search the albums and you would come up with, if we type in Scott and we're picking on him, now you
oh my goodness.
now you can see there were a lot of batches of pictures. I believe when we organized your photos that these were important to keep them separate. So some of this work was done for you, and must count Scotland as close enough. So all right. So I want to go back just to the albums view and go to 2004, where we were in those soccer pictures, and talk about the next thing. And that's the tags. So you have the library view, albums, and then tags. When we scroll down here, we have this picture, which I know I tagged with him and Scott Soccer. Sometimes it takes a second or two for those tags to show up. So what's nice is when you click on the tag, right in the picture, it will take you to every other picture that you have. And
Okay.
you can order it by the date taken, the name, or the, or the date uploaded. So we want to see the newest first. And in this instance, they're all from the same event. So, or from the same year. So that won't be as beneficial. When you're looking at a specific tag, you can edit the tag name. You could add files if you wanted. And then what I really like is you can share a tag. So the grouping of pictures you can actually share through your computer. It would be via email or Facebook. And then on your phone, you can do it text messages, emails, whatever options you have to share on your phone. So it's kind of nice. When we go to the actual tags tab, we get to see all of the tags ever created. And you actually have done a lot of work. This is impressive, Lori. So
Not really.
okay. So like if I wanted to see was soccer tagged anywhere else, well, this men's soccer that was probably from
Madison. It was a
professional
photo.
So we'll add Scott Soccer to this one since that's him. And then when we go back, you don't really need a tag named men's soccer, right? So if it's okay, I'll click delete.
Yep.
All right. This will really help. This helps people clean up their tags a lot. So if we search for Scott, I think he was in there, or no, it was Randy that was in there a couple times, right? So
Yes.
you have Randy Lorenz and Randy. With Forever, I think it is really helpful to use the full name of a person so that, with your kids, it all looks consistent then, because you only have 3. And if the rest of your tags have first and last name, it's totally a personal call.
Okay.
So I'd be yep.
How can I change Randy to Randy Lorenz?
So since there's more pictures, I mean, you could do this, you could go to the Randy and we can select them all. So I held the shift key down to select them all. And remember, we get this thing up here. So I'll add tag and do Randy Lorenz, and then add the tag to all of them. Now I could delete this tag. And I'm always kind of like, I like to double check. So we're going to go back to Randy, and now we can see Randy's got 11 pictures.
Okay.
So I could go into the first Randy without the last name and delete it, or I think I can check it and I can delete it from there.
Perfect.
So that will allow you to clean up your tags, which they didn't look terrible to me. Like sometimes you see, mom and then grandma, and they all relate to the same person. So, so you want to be consistent there. Now, we talked about the favorite. I think in Scott's, I might have favorited that one picture of him. Oh no, I didn't. Here. Instead of that picture, I'm going to go back to your library view, and we want to see all your pictures. And you have this beautiful picture here of your family. I'm going to click the favorite there. And this, when you click favorite, you want to do this purposefully. And this is going to be part of, the plan of moving forward. But I wanted to click it there to show you, you can favorite a photo there. And then you can also click the heart on any one of the thumbnail views of the pictures that you have. So tagging and favorites are kind of, two really good tools in here to keep track of the pictures that you want your family to really have easy access to in the future. And, if they want to know more, if they want to see, are there other pictures? Well, they could go to the tag and they'll see the other pictures, or they could go into the album that that photo is in and see all the pictures that were from that year. So, and then the last thing about, this information, we have the tags. Now, this is another example. Should you tag everybody in this photo?
I was going to ask that.
I don't. Someday Forever will have facial recognition, and I think that that'll be easier then. But if you want pictures of Scott, you're probably, this is an important photo, so we have it favorited. I'd add a tag like family portrait or VIP.
I like the idea of the family portrait because we do have one at least from every year. And what a great way to just be able to scan through 30 years of the family portraits.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So there's a tag added there. So you're probably still like, oh my gosh, where do I start?
Yes.
I like to be systematic about these kinds of things. And I actually would have a spreadsheet, where I have 2021, and then I would check off the years as I go through them, because I have to see something in writing. So I have a little spreadsheet that I've shared with other people, Lori, and I'll email that to you.
Awesome. Thank you.
But sometimes just starting small with baby steps is really helpful. When we go back to the albums view, you have December 2021 pictures. How many photos did you take?
Oh, probably 1,000 in December alone.
So
because I have a lot of grandkids.
yeah, and it was Christmas, and there were, who knows what kind of programs and events that you guys were together.
Right.
When I scroll down, I'm just scrolling down to 2021.
I didn't upload anything yet.
You did.
I have just one picture.
Yep. With starting with just 1 month's pictures, there are two ways, of course, and there's probably more, but two ways that people that I talk with will get pictures into Forever. All right. The first one is to open the app on your phone and go to 2021, the album, and simply upload the pictures you want to save there. All right. That's the easy, quick. All right. That's easy and quick. I like for people to actually save their photos on their computers in folders, because if you don't have access to the internet, you don't have access to Forever, you don't have access to Google, you still have them on your phone, the physical pictures that you took on your phone. But if we're thinking about long-term preservation and best practices, you want to save them in a folder on your computer. So you get your pictures from your phone to a folder on your computer. It's 2021-12 December photos, and move the pictures off your phone into that folder. And it's not moving, it's copying them. All right. Then once you have the folder on your computer, delete the ones you don't need, because, people are just funny. If they have the pictures on the phone, they really don't want to delete them. You just never know when you need that piece of information or whatever. So the pictures that you're bringing to your computer into that folder are the ones that are your family that you're preserving. All right. So think about it that way. And now maybe your 1,000 pictures is down to 700, but I hope it's not that many, Lori.
I hope so too.
So then once they're saved on your computer, then you go to forever.com here and you go to 2021, and you're going to make a nested album 2021-12 December photos, because if you have 700, they should not be in the main folder or the main album. That's too many. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just make you a nested folder so you remember. And then on that spreadsheet, you can actually check off, all right, I have December done. I'll work on January at the end of January. If you have an hour to spare, go and do November's pictures from last year. So the steps are copy the photos to your computer and then delete and then upload. Now there is a fourth step. So let's say you get your 300 pictures up into December. You're going to want to tag the people in the best pictures of them, not everybody in every picture, because that would be a waste. That would be a time you would get frustrated with that and you would stop doing it anyway. No one can keep up with that.
Right.
But you can favorite the best pictures. And I like to say, favorite 30 from a month, because then at the end of each month, you'll have your 30 best pictures. When the end of the year comes, you can pick a few photos for your card, your Christmas card, if you do that, and you could make an annual photo book. If you had 30 saved a month, that would be 360 a year, which would be a photo book about 50 pages with 6 pictures on a page. And you'd have your year in review. I actually put a lot of steps in that 4. So favorite and and with the goal of producing something that you can print and look at. When you have these beautiful grandchildren, when they look at pictures of their parents and grandparents and maybe even great grandparents, children will have greater feelings of belonging and connectedness, and the story sharing, it strengthens families. It's just known. So
Great idea.
So that was a lot of information.
Well, I have a question.
Yep.
So when you put those 30 pictures into your December folder, do you take the time to tag them at that point?
Yeah.
Or put names?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, yes. In practicality, it's hard to keep up with that. The months is the most important thing. If you're ambitious and you can keep up with the system, then tagging and favoriting will help you. All right. Any other questions?
And I did have a question on my videos.
Yep.
Now that you have uploaded them all into my Forever account, these were videos that I would rent a huge, shoulder camcorder way back in the day.
Yep.
And spent a weekend with a lot of different events. And now I want to take those videos and break them into, this was the kid's birthday party and this was our family vacation. It's all on the same video right now.
Yep.
How do I break that into the smaller sections and create new videos out of it?
With videos, we have the unedited full videos up in your account. And when you're ready, you would download them, one at a time, I think. And there are
computer?
To your computer. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Video editing, that might come in forever, but I don't see that anytime soon. Most online cloud storages don't have online video editing. Plus, you want to work with the full version of the file, and I'm not clear that that's how easy that would be yet. I'm sure technology will keep moving along. In today's technology, you would download that. On a Windows computer, you can use the Photos app, which is very simple to edit a video, but it allows you to put titles in, cut clips out, and that sort of thing. If you want a more advanced option that gives you, more creativity and things like that, there are video programs out there. We have used Wondershare Filmora, Filmora, to edit videos, and that's where I would start with.
Okay.
And then
that's a purchased app called Wondershare
Filmora. So
okay.
Yeah, and then there's Adobe Premiere Pro is an editor, and I know your sons are techie and that might be a program that they might use.
Okay.
So yeah. All right.
This has been very helpful. I think I'll use your spreadsheet for starters, just to get things organized better out in my Forever account, and then go from there to editing the videos.
Yeah. And start with December's pictures. I want to hear how that goes for you.
Okay. Sounds good.
That's what we've been finding is, we have to have some accountability here. So
Yes, I know.
and I'm the same way. I have photos in multiple places and my Forever account is not clean because this is just ongoing. We're adding pictures and technology keeps advancing. So we're doing the best that we can, right?
Right, exactly.
Well, good. All right, Lori, I am going to end the recording here and I really appreciate this. Helping you will help others who watch this later. So I really appreciate you being willing to share. So thank you
Yes,
so
thanks,
much.
Molly.